Welcome to the Deep Dive, the place where we cut through the noise and give you the essential, surprising truths buried in history and research.
Today we're tackling a challenge you brought to us, and it's a fantastic one.
It is. We're doing a deep dive into the British Enlightenment, that period from roughly 1660 to 1800. And the central question is, why is it so often overlooked? Especially when you could argue it was the real engine of our modern world.
It's a great question because, when most people think Age of Reason, their minds immediately go to France.
Right. Voltaire, Rousseau, the ferment before the French Revolution. That's the dramatic story we all know.
Exactly. And the British Enlightenment gets treated like the quiet, sensible, older sibling who already built the factory while everyone else was still arguing about the blueprints.
And it's consistently just sort of left out of the big global histories. It lacks the flair.
And that neglect, which is the first thing our sources really dig into, is historically very peculiar. For decades, the foundational books on the Enlightenment, especially from continental scholars like Cassirer or Schmidt, would just omit English thinkers.
You just skip them.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They treated the whole movement as a Franco-German thing. And even in the Anglo-American world, there was this strange avoidance. A lot of scholars preferred calling it the Augustan period.
Why? Were they afraid of the word enlightenment?
It seems like it. They worried it sounded, a bit pretentious or like this winter for the imagination where everything was too ordered, too restrained.
But that's the great irony, isn't it? Because the British tradition provided the actual scaffolding for the rest of Europe.
It really did. And the French even admitted it, though maybe a bit grudgingly. We have French critics in the 1760s saying that once English letters were tasted, a revolution quickly took place in their own culture. They were reading Locke, they were reading Newton.
And the ultimate symbol of the French Enlightenment, the encyclopedia, that huge multi-volume project to distill all human knowledge, that was basically an imported idea.
It absolutely was. The whole thing, Diderot and D'Alembert's massive project, it started as just a plan to translate an English work.
Which one?
Ephraim Chambers' two-volume Cyclopedia, which came out in London way back in 1728. So the very model for French rationalism was, at its core, a British commercial success.
And that right there defines the British difference. They weren't just producing ideas, they were producing useful, marketable knowledge.
Exactly. And the reason they could do that, the crucial factor, was their political starting point. The French philosophes had to fight despotism, the church, censorship.
Right.
But the British, after the Glorious Revolution of 1688, they already had a level of liberty their counterparts could only dream of. A Whig peer could boast that they had entire philosophical